What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Crayon Rocket podcast. It is your boy Sweet. You already know what it is, what it do, and everything in between, bruh. It's your boy Sweet. Today we got some big things going on. Some big things, definitely some things to celebrate, some things to probably pray for, some things just kind of talk about, y'all. Some things just to kind of talk about. Welcome back to another episode of the Crayon Rocket Podcast. It is your boy, and we are here. We're going to talk about this new bill that's going to be passed to allow collegiate athletes to kind of start getting paid, right? To be able to start taking sponsorships, start being able to be part of Cameo. All these different things, which is very, very powerful, right? Very powerful, something very important, and I think it's a good thing. Maybe there's gonna be some little things that they might need to kind of fix and just kind of tweak a little bit, but I think it's a good start. I think the athletes here definitely need to start bringing in some maybe potential players from other states to our athletic programs. That would be pretty dope. Watch this video, and I hope that maybe it's something that you would be excited about too, as much as I am.
Collegiate athletes often pour their hearts and souls into their sports. The best of them gain national attention and amass huge followings on social media. But they can't profit from any of it. News 13's Courtney Allen reports on a bill looking to change that.
College athletes may soon be able to get paid.
I think it's a step in the right direction. It's a long time coming.
Senate Bill 94 would allow student athletes in New Mexico to make money off things like endorsement deals and sponsorships.
New Mexico State is certainly for student athletes being able to be compensated for their name, image, and likeness.
NMSU Athletic Director Maria Mocha says while the university is supportive of the bill, there are a few concerns.
A good example would be we're an Under Armour school. We wouldn't necessarily like it if a student athlete was promoting Nike. So there's just a few little things like that, but it pales in comparison to the good that, if it's passed, will do for the student athletes.
Senator Mark Moores, a former Lobo football player, is one of the sponsors of the bill. He says the bill is modeled off of legislation already passed in other states.
Last year, I introduced this law, and we would have been the second state to actually pass this law after California. Since then, there's actually been 6 other states who passed this, including our rivals in the Mountain West with Colorado and California.
Moshe says it may attract athletes to New Mexico schools.
They might see that as, hey, I can actually, go to this school and make some money in the process.
Many student athletes have tens of thousands of followers online, and a bill like this would allow them to monetize those followings. For example, getting paid for a sponsored Instagram post. Moshe says he can also see student athletes creating accounts on apps like Cameo, where people can pay for a video shout out.
Members of our volleyball team, can get on there, and then our volleyball fans can say, you know what? I want this volleyball player to wish, my buddy a happy birthday. That's the best example that I can come up with how your run-of-the-mill student athletes can actually start making some money.
Courtney Allen, KRQE, News 13.
That's really cool.
Critics were concerned the bill could hurt smaller universities, but ultimately the Senate approved it unanimously today. It now heads to the House. Mocha says the more states pass legislation like this, the more it will pressure the NCAA to allow compensation for athletes.
Nice. See, that's the thing. If it gets passed, it's going to be something really huge for these athletes, because it's going to be some revenue, it's going to be some income that they could start to collect, right? Which, I was no collegiate athlete or anything like that, but college life is hard, right? So if this could kind of help them a little bit just to kind of earn some extra money, just, have some income and stuff, I think that's a good thing, right? I think it's something that could definitely be beneficial to these athletes, right? Something to maybe even be able to bring in some other athletes from other states wanting to be able to be part of this so they can start earning some money, stuff like that, right? especially if it's going to lead them to get to the NFL and stuff like that. They kind of already have a little bit of money coming their way, and maybe if they don't, then at least they were able to get some money coming in, right? That's something really big, something I think could definitely be really be beneficial to these athletes. And maybe it will just be good for the economy, maybe it'll just be good for the college, for the university as well, right? It'll be kind of like this big thing, and maybe even these sponsors and these other, organizations that are like, hey man, I want to sponsor this dude, he dope, right? Stuff like that, I think would be really, really good for the athlete, for the sponsor, for the college, for the university. All these different factors will all benefit from this bill being passed. So we can only hope that they pass this bill, just because it is definitely something that we should have for these athletes. That's what I think. Cool. So audio was probably kind of bad at the beginning. I do apologize. Having some issues with the computer and the internet with that, so I got to get that fixed. So that's why it's a whole different format. But yes, New Mexico ranked top 10 in women in tech, right? In the nation. That's good. Usually we're kind of we're putting the top 10 of worst of the worst things you don't want to be in the top 10 of. But man, so I want y'all to watch this video. It's very inspiring, very good. I think it's super important, so y'all enjoy this, bro. Okay, cool. So women's okay, no, I got it, bro.
He ranks Albuquerque one of the top 10 cities for women working in technology. The Duke City ranked number 9 on the list this year. The study says in Albuquerque, 31% of jobs in the technology industry are filled by women. The study says nationally, women on average make 83 cents for every dollar their male coworkers make. However, here, women make about 95 cents for every dollar. That's the 5th smallest pay gap in the study. Arlington, Virginia was ranked number 1.
A bill aimed.
Yeah, I mean, let's celebrate that, top 10 with women in tech, like I said before with the women in Senate, this is a good thing for New Mexico. Is showing this women empowerment, right? These women are in these big positions. They're in these positions that maybe they weren't in 10 years ago, right? That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing that we need to celebrate, right? Celebrate this milestone, celebrate this top 10 list, celebrate these women in these jobs, start encouraging more of it, right? Because we're over here, we're just like, it's whatever, right? We don't really pay too much attention to it. It's just another thing that just happens, whatever. But we should start paying a little bit more attention, start seeing the bigger picture, start seeing the big and the huge impact that would be made from all of this, right? For anything in the future or even present or whatever, and just celebrate that milestone and be like, man, look where we at right now. Look where we at right now. That's the important part. Just to be able to see where we're at, just to see where we came from, just to be able to see all of that, and to be able to show that importance, right? Show the importance of that, because that's something that we need to celebrate. Not something that we just need, it's whatever, right? It's something that we need to celebrate. Man.
Legal in New Mexico is now headed to the governor's desk. Senate Bill 10 repeals an abortion ban from the 1960s. Right now, the ban is unenforceable because of Roe v. Wade, but the bill's sponsors want to make sure if the Supreme Court ruling is overturned, abortion remains legal in New Mexico. That legislation was passed in the House today in a 40-30 vote. It now heads to the governor's.
So, abortion, super touchy issue. Everybody has an opinion on it. Everyone's a little bit different. Their stance on it is always going to be different. I usually don't ever try to touch on topics or subjects that kind of trigger a lot of people. But you know what? I only live once. What's the implications of the effect it's going to have on me? It don't matter. It's just my opinion. So they're looking at this for the abortion bill and stuff like that. So they're debating. They're seeing what they're going to do with it. whether your stance is for it, against it, whatever it is, this is definitely an important video to watch. Vaccine for the kids. Getting your kids vaccinated. Getting your kids vaccinated. Are you for that? Are you for getting your child vaccinated with all this? I don't know. You're going to hear my opinion, but no, this is a touchy subject. This is a very touchy subject, so you know what? Stay watching this video, see what they say. See, there's a parent that says they're for it, there's a parent that says they're against it. What's your stance on this? Because you're going to hear mine.
Vaccine producers are now shifting their clinical trials to children under the age of 16. But when could those vaccines actually become available to kids in New Mexico? News 13's Jamie Seymour is here with the latest.
COVID vaccines for children under 16 could start as early as this fall if approved. But some New Mexican parents remain divided on if they would even let their kids get the shot.
It's a new vaccine. It's fairly untested. I feel like the risks outweigh the benefit at this point.
I believe in the scientists, and I believe that they did their due diligence, and I believe that they're not going to put children at risk.
Both Moderna and Pfizer are currently running clinical trials with kids as young as 12, hoping to see if the vaccine produces enough of an immune response in children. Earlier today, the country's infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, says while studies are underway, it could still be a long time before enough information is available to give kids the vaccine.
We will likely get information for high schoolers at some time in the fall, but it is, I would say, more than unlikely we will not have data on elementary school children until at least the first quarter of 2022.
While Oxford AstraZeneca's vaccine has not been approved in the U.S. yet, they're already beginning clinical trials on kids in the U.K. Other vaccine providers like Johnson & Johnson and Novavax say they also plan to test the vaccines on children, but are further behind in studies. As of now, the FDA has not approved vaccines for children under 16 because of the lack of data showing it's safe and effective on kids. While AstraZeneca's trial is giving the vaccine to kids as young as 6, both Pfizer and Moderna are starting their trials with kids 12 and up.
I would not allow my child to be vaccinated, especially if they say they ain't even fully tested and made sure it's safe, and we're getting all these different reactions to it from different people, from grown adults that have been taking the vaccine, right? So why am I going to be like, oh yeah, no one, let me go ahead and have just my child do that man, I ain't for that. I ain't going to put my child at risk for a vaccine that maybe it's going to harm them, maybe it won't. We really don't know. I mean, because it hasn't been tested long. Pandemic started last year. Unless you had the vaccine started from last year and you've been testing it for a year, then it's a little different. But if you haven't, it's I ain't for that, right? So my opinion, my stance on it, get that out of here. If I ain't going to take it myself unless it's mandatory and I have to, then I probably will have to. Then you know what, I will. But I'm not going to allow my child to do it. I don't trust it. I don't believe in it for the kid. It ain't for me. It ain't going to be something I'm just yeah, let's go ahead and just start pumping every kid with vaccine. If you don't know the implications, if you don't know what's the outcome, all these different things, right, repercussions, all these things that's going to happen or possibly could happen, you don't know, then don't come at me and be like, yeah, you need to do this. No. I ain't for it. I'm not going to agree to it. None of that. Get that out of here. We ain't about that. So don't come at me. Don't come with it. Don't ask me about it because I say no. I gave my stance. Unless there's some data that comes out that's it's 100,000% safe. It's okay. Then okay. But you need to show me the facts too. Not just a little thing that says it. It needs to show me the facts about it. So this motivational video, I didn't find a short one from Trent Shelton this week, but I did find one from Manifest. It is called Stay Focused. Something that we can all relate to. Something that we could all definitely be part of and just kind of see and something that we all need to work on, right? Some of us, we get so distracted so easily, right? Like, what do we do? Like, what do we do? We're just like, it's whatever. But no, like, this is the important part, right? This is the important part. It's like, what do we do next? What do we do next? How do we stay motivated? I'm gonna talk a little bit more about it, but know what? Stay tuned with this video. You're gonna get motivated and you're gonna stay focused, bro. Don't know how I feel about that.
Some people say they can't focus. You gotta follow one course until successful. Starve your distractions and feed your focus. Many people put an average effort into too many things. They dilute their effectiveness, burdening their minds with dozens of ideas, but focus on none of them. Then they wonder why they feel overwhelmed and lack clarity. They're not sure what to work on. I had a friend who wanted to be a musician, a public speaker, songwriter for TV and film, lead worship at his church, all while being married, raising kids, plus had a full-time job. I was stressed out just hearing about it. By trying to do everything, we become a jack of all trades, but master of none. I said, just focus on one of those things and be great at it. Andrew Carnegie says, put all your eggs in one basket and watch that basket grow. Success requires a singleness of purpose. You've got to eliminate distractions. Turn off your phone and stop comparing yourself to other people. You are not a follower of people. You are a leader of people. Focus on what you do want, not on what you don't. What do you need to cut out that's just a distraction? The path to more is by doing less. And please don't confuse activity for productivity. Effort and results are not the same thing. I don't want to hear about your plans. Show me the results. Stop looking for all the hard ways to make a little bit of money and start focusing on all the easy ways to make a lot of money. Success is found in putting 100% of your effort into what matters most. Multitasking is a lie. It's an effective way to get less done. When you get distracted from work and start looking on social media, getting a text or a phone call, it takes an average of 25 minutes to regain your concentration on that specific task. Then you wonder where all the time went and why you can't focus. So please turn off your phone. Focus equals power. Take that power back and learn to say no. Most people overestimate what they can get done in a year, and they underestimate what they can get done in a decade. If you can just focus in a day, you'll get more done in an hour than you used to in half a day. There's no such thing as a balanced life. Sometimes you need extraordinary results, which requires an insane amount of focused attention and time. When you say yes to one opportunity, you are saying no to another. What's urgent isn't always what's most important. If you want to take the island, you gotta burn the boats. The legend of the burning boats is traced back to a story associated with the conquest of the Aztec Empire by Cortez. As the legend says, in 1519, Cortez led a large expedition to Mexico. The goal? Capture a magnificent treasure said to be held there. Upon arrival, Cortez destroyed his ships. This sent a clear message to his men. There was no turning back. They would either win this war or they would die. That's called an extreme, no plan B type of focus. Within 2 years, Cortez and his men had conquered the Aztec Empire. That's what I'm talking about, extreme focus. Give yourself no other option but victory. What you're looking for isn't out there. It's already within you. Success takes time, so keep going.
See, and like he said, his friend was like, man, I want to do this, right? All these things. But it's like, man, I'm tired just hearing that, bro. You can't go and try to focus on all of these things. Like, maybe eventually you could start getting good at, like, multiple things. But the thing is to be like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to be that. It's a little too much. It's overwhelming. how are you going to have time for that? How are you going to have time to accomplish all that to the best of your ability, right? And that's the thing that we all need to really think about, because we say we want to do this, that, and that, but do we have the time to accomplish that? Do we have the time to be able to make that happen, to be able to make it come into fruition, right? Do we have that? Are we capable of that? Because you know what? Like me, like I do a lot of things. The master album? Heck no, bro. But I ain't trying to be like, I'm going to be the master this, that. Nah. But I am trying to do as much as I can, learn as much as I can, and do as much as I can, right? That's just what I'm trying to do. So, trying to stay focused, right? And like he said, you know, when you get distracted with the text or you get distracted on social media, it takes you 25 minutes to get refocused and back into the mode that you were in right before that. I did not know that. It totally makes sense, though. It totally makes sense, right? So, how, like, that's the goal. Not for just me. It should be a goal for you. How are you going to stay focused? How are you going to stay focused? How are you going to stay motivated? How are you going to keep doing this? How are you going to keep growing that focus where it's laser point, right? It's laser focus, right? You going to be able to get things done the way that you said you were going to get them done, right? That's the important part. A lot of us, we get distracted so easily. I get distracted so easily, right? But sometimes we just need to find that time to be able to get focused and to be able to try to block out any distractions and to be able to remain focused, right? We need to accomplish these things. We got to start setting our goals, right? We got to start being like, okay, how am I going to hit that? How am I going to block out distractions? How am I going to stay focused on this? How am I going to make this a reality, right? How am I going to make this a reality? And it's like, how, right? That's the important part. We just got to figure that out. We got to navigate our lanes. We got to eliminate distractions. We got to just stay focused, y'all. I hope that this episode motivated you. I really do. And if you're on Anchor or Spotify or wherever you're hearing this, I appreciate y'all so much. Let's try to grow this fam, bro. Let's try to grow the fam. And know what? If you're on YouTube, without further ado, I'm going to have to bid y'all adieu. If you have not subscribed yet, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe too. And until next time, salute. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you so much, more than you ever know. So, Crayon Rocket, our motto is be unique, be creative, be you. Why is this important? Because we were all created in the image of God. We were all perfectly and wonderfully made. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Share it, like it, subscribe. I would appreciate it. God bless.